This is just to give you a demo of how to start and then how to progress. And there's three basic components, if you will, to being able to swing the club without injuring yourself. Of course, once you get this basic movement in, that's different than when you're swinging the clubs over your shoulder. And I'll explain all that and show that to you in just a moment. This is a light pair of clubs. These are very, very, very old. They're antiques. And if I'm basically using them this way, as you can see, it's not the same as swinging the club this way. Now, I wouldn't even want to swing these clubs this way because they're just not heavy enough to really do a whole lot. This, I'm actually using the shoulder in a different way. Now I'm going to lift up the heavy clubs. First off, when you lift the heavy clubs, as I explained on the DVDs, turn your palms inward so the backs of your hands touch each other. And then pop, using your legs, you want to pop them up into the port arms or the regular starting position. Like this. Now the second thing is, I never start swinging the clubs or try to teach people to swing with two clubs. You can learn it that way, but honestly, you're going to find that it's probably easier for 99% of the people out there to do this with one club at a time. Either start with your right hand or start with your left hand. Hold it so it's level with your head. Arm isn't it at a right angle, it's a little bit lower than a right angle. You're going to simply, the first movement is to move the club over your shoulder and back over your shoulder again. This is the first thing, movement-wise. Before I even do that, I'm just going to simply stretch, trying to push my elbow to the sky, to the ceiling, as high above my head as possible. And I'm just going to stretch my arm in this position. If you've got a really heavy club, this is what you need. Most people will be more, their arms will be more in this position. Then when they go to swing the club at the side, it's going to pull my arm, if you can tell, at a very uncomfortable angle and actually hurt the shoulder. With my arm in close to my body, I'm actually pulling my elbow, as you mentioned on the phone, down to my rib cage, this way. I'm not pulling my elbow around and trying to pull the club. That's why I used a lighter club to demo all this to you. If this was a heavier club, it'd be pulling my arm in a very uncomfortable and dangerous position. So, first thing we're going to do is simply drop it down over our shoulder and stay in this position. This is to stretch the shoulder. Again, I don't want to be like this and try to learn how to swing the clubs. That's the first thing. The first movement, that was stagnant or stationary, to stretch. The second part is a movement, is simply pushing the club up over the shoulder. And you notice the top of the club almost touches my butt. When I go over, it's almost touching actually is touching my butt now. Okay? And the third part is the swing. And if you press it over the shoulder, leave it here, you want to do this. Just to learn to be comfortable with this weight and control the weight. Guide, direct, or manage the weight. And then the last and final part is putting all these parts together. So I'm simply going to, as I said, this was the part I was trying to explain to you on the phone. I'm going to put my hand on this side of my face if the club I'm using is in my right hand. And I'm going to show you the reason why. I don't want to do this and clock myself with the club. I want to bring it here and watch how it slides right into my hand. I'm not doing this and smacking it. It's just very lightly. And it's really controlled. It's a very light, relaxed, fluid, soft movement, if you will. It's not like you'll see most guys on the internet swinging these club bells or these heavy things, and they're going like this, and they're struggling, and it looks all awkward. Now, once you learn pressing it up, this is the way I was taught, was to push it by the ear. not above the head. You want to push it right by the ear and then bring it over. But I want you to watch my hand at this point. The rotation of my hand is extremely important. I'm using the momentum. Now watch my hand right here. My hand goes like this. Right here, and then rotates back to this position. I don't know if you can catch that. Maybe slow this down or something and catch this. And then it sets in this pocket, if you will. I'm not doing what the Persian's doing, laying it on my body and just letting it drop off. And I'm also not doing this and pushing it way over my head and being reckless. Get this motion first, like this. Then you can start to push it up over the head. But why use all this momentum in the beginning if you can't control the weight? So do the small movement first. There's a medium movement across the back, and then here's across the head. Let me show you. I'll face the other direction. First the small movement, then the medium movement, which goes across by both my scapula, and then this one goes across the head and then by both the scapula. So there's three real different ways to throw, launch, move this weight across the back of your body. I'll show you one more time. This is over the shoulder and back to this position. This is medium. This is over the head. And you can see this is what I meant by the safety, is this other free hand. If you could do it like this, but this gives you a little bit more confidence, and you're kind of cradling the weight. So I hope that's helpful. Now I'll show you the movement with a club in each hand. So with the club in each hand, pop it to this position, and this you can do just by itself. This movement: shoulder, shoulder, midline, 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 over the head, over the head, over the head, over the head. If that helps, I hope it does. That's the different movement.